Hello, and welcome. Today, we're diving into the chilling world of unexplained disappearances. Imagine someone vanishing without a trace, no clues, no evidence, just gone. Some of these cases have remained unsolved for decades, leaving behind only questions. Were they victims of foul play, supernatural forces, or something even stranger? In this series, we're uncovering 7 of the most mysterious disappearances in history, from a legendary pilot who vanished mid-flight to an entire colony that disappeared overnight. Each of these cases is so bizarre that even experts still don't have an answer. Stay with me until the end, because the 7th case is one of the strangest disappearances ever recorded. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exploration into the world's most chilling mysteries. And if you've heard of any of these cases before, smash that like button. Let's see how many people know about these strange events. Now, let's dive in.
On July 2nd, 1937, Amelia Earhart, one of the most famous pilots in history, vanished mid-flight while attempting to become the first woman to fly around the world. She was flying with her navigator, Fred Noonan, and everything was going smoothly until they approached Howland Island, a tiny piece of land in the Pacific Ocean where they were supposed to refuel. Then, something strange happened. Earhart's last known radio transmissions indicated she was running low on fuel and struggling to locate the island. She sent a desperate message. "We are on the line 157-337. We are running north and south." And then, radio silence. The U.S. Navy launched the biggest air and sea search in history, but not a single piece of the plane was ever found. So what happened? Theories include she ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. But then, where is the wreckage? She was captured by the Japanese. Some believe she was accused of being a spy and executed. She landed on an uninhabited island and died as a castaway. She faked her death and lived under a new identity. Even today, expeditions continue to search for her plane, but Amelia Earhart's fate remains one of aviation's greatest mysteries. On November 24, 1971, a man who called himself Dan Cooper boarded a Northwest Orient Airlines flight from Portland to Seattle. He was polite, well-dressed, and seemed completely normal until he handed a note to a flight attendant that read, "I have a bomb in my briefcase." Cooper calmly demanded $200,000 in cash for parachutes and a refueling stop in Mexico. The FBI complied, and once the plane landed in Seattle, he released the passengers in exchange for the money. Then came the unbelievable part. Somewhere over Washington State, during a heavy storm, Cooper opened the plane's rear door and jumped into complete darkness, wearing only a parachute. And just like that, he vanished. Despite one of the longest FBI investigations in history, Cooper was never found. Did he die in the wilderness, his body lost forever? Did he escape and start a new life? Was he a skilled military parachutist who knew exactly what he was doing? Years later, some of the ransom money was found buried in a riverbank, but Cooper himself remains a ghost. On Christmas Eve, 1945, in Fayetteville, West Virginia, tragedy struck the Sodder family. Their home was engulfed in flames. George and Jenny Sodder, along with 4 of their 9 children, escaped. But the other 5, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, were believed to be inside. After the fire burned down the house, something strange happened. No bones, no bodies, nothing was found in the ashes. Experts said a fire that size should have left remains. Even stranger, key evidence suggested foul play. The family's phone lines had been cut before the fire started. Their ladder, which could have helped them escape, was mysteriously missing. A witness claimed to see a man watching the fire, then driving away, and years later, the Sodders received a chilling photograph of a young man, with a note suggesting he was one of the missing children. Were they kidnapped? Was it an elaborate cover-up? The Sodder family searched for answers for decades, but the case remains one of the most baffling disappearances in history.
In 1587, more than 100 English settlers established a colony on Roanoke Island, off the coast of present-day North Carolina. 3 years later, when their governor John White returned from England, he he found something shocking. The entire colony was gone. No bodies, no signs of struggle, just the word Crowtone carved into a tree. Did they join a Native American tribe? Were they attacked? Or did something even stranger happen? To this day, no one knows where the Roanoke settlers went. In 2014, German tourist Lars Mittank was vacationing in Bulgaria when he got into a fight and injured his ear. His friends left, but he stayed behind. Then his behavior turned bizarre. He called his mother in a panic, whispering that people were following him and that he needed to escape. Surveillance cameras at the airport then captured something chilling. Lars suddenly dropped his bags, sprinted out of the terminal, jumped over a fence, and ran into the wilderness. He was never seen again. What was he running from? No one knows.
In 1961, Michael Rockefeller, the son of one of the most powerful families in America, set off on an expedition deep into the jungles of New Guinea. He was fascinated by the indigenous tribes and their way of life. But what started as an exploration soon turned into one of history's greatest unsolved disappearances. After his boat capsized in a remote river, Michael made the fateful decision to swim to shore, leaving his companion behind. That was the last time he was ever seen. For years, rumors swirled. Some believe he drowned, his body swept away by the unforgiving currents. Others suspect he was captured by an isolated cannibalistic tribe, one known for rituals that involve consuming outsiders. There are chilling reports from locals who claim a white man was seen living among the tribes long after Michael's disappearance. Some even say he chose to stay, abandoning his old life forever. Despite numerous searches and investigations, the truth remains a mystery. Did Michael Rockefeller die in the jungle? Or did he find a new home among those he once sought to study? His fate may never be known.
In 1954, at a Tokyo airport, a traveler arrived with a passport from a country that doesn't exist, Taured. Everything about him seemed normal. His passport looked real, his travel stamps were legitimate, and he had official documents that proved his identity. Yet, when customs officers checked, there was no record of a country called Taured anywhere in the world. The man was confused and frustrated, insisting that Taured was a real nation located between France and Spain. He even pointed to it on a map, but the country he described simply didn't exist. Authorities, baffled by the situation, detained him overnight in a hotel room under heavy security. But by morning, the mystery deepened. He had vanished. The room was locked from the outside. There were no exits, and yet the man and all his documents were gone without a trace. Was he a spy using an elaborate fake identity? A time traveler from another era? Or, as some believe, someone who accidentally slipped into our dimension from a parallel universe? Despite decades of speculation, no one has ever uncovered the truth about the man from Taured. His story remains one of the most bizarre unsolved mysteries in history.
Which of these disappearances do you think is the strangest? Let us know in the comments. And if you love mysteries like this, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on notifications, because the next mystery might be even stranger. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.